All right, reporting back from CEO Space, I'm Maria, and this is Hugh Ballou. I love that name, Ballou.
Well, thank you. I'm fond of it myself.
That's a good thing since, it is your name. So, Hugh, tell me about your company.
My company I called it Vision. That's the name. And so what I do is create synergy with teams, boards of directors, staff, any kind of team. I create synergy through developing a common vision and a way that people work together. They can either build conflict or they can create synergy.
Okay, even though there's different personalities and different ways to communicate, like, obviously people have their preferred way of communication. So is that what you work with?
Absolutely, absolutely. It would be so boring if everybody was the same. I spent 40 years as conductor, musical conductor. And so with a choir, you have different voices. With an orchestra, you got different instruments. So there's great value in having all those different personalities because instruments are different colors, but they also have different personalities. Some are high, some are low, different colors, some transpose, they play a note but it sounds different. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And so when you're working with teams, there's lots of different skills people bring, lots of different perspective. So that's a value if you build relationship and you build a common vision. So through that you create harmony, but in people language, not music language, we call that synergy.
Very good. So can you break down maybe a little bit here? I know we don't have a lot of time. In when you are dealing, let's say in like a boardroom type of setting or, creating this collaboration team for your business, if there are really different and vast ways that everybody has their own communication style, what are some key ways to kind of get everybody on the same page to know that they're out for the same goal or vision, if you will?
Well, you build a culture of excellence, and the culture of excellence is about the vision. And so the vision is paramount in leadership. Where are you headed? And what is the pathway to get there? And so you create a pathway for the best thinking of the group to surface. And everybody in the group plays a part in solving problems and creating plans and executing the plans. So the requirement on the leader's part is to carefully plan those meetings and to involve everybody in a very clear process. And my saying is the agenda is the enemy of productive meetings. And let me explain that. The agenda means, to me, activity. I got enough activity in my life. So I have turned the paradigm around. We plan deliverables. That's an outcome. What will we leave this meeting having accomplished? And that in itself is very motivating. So you change the paradigm. You change the language. You teach people to build consensus and focus on outcomes. And it really changes how people work together.
Oh, right on. Well, tell me then about your affiliation with CEO Space.
I've been attending here since 2006. I came a few times, and Bernie invited me to be on the faculty. And I've been working for the last 2 years. Bernie assigned me the chore, the duty, the delight, the pleasure.
Transformational vocabulary there.
It is transformation in process. But at first I was saying, okay, why would I want to do that? Well, this is a chance for me to show in real life what I do in real life. And so I have been building the faculty integrity team and the faculty team as a whole. So I've led the faculty through a process of accountability and integrity and building best practices. We operate in a very different culture here. It's a give to get culture. You share with people and you demonstrate competency. So I've been involved here. This is my 25th forum. And every time I come to give value, but I receive more than I give. So it's a very special place for me.
Well, I would like to kind of interject into a little bit of fun at this point. You were saying you're a musical conductor, and I have sat and watched the orchestra, and it just looks like the music conductor is doing do, and I know that there's something there that is actually, it means something. So can you teach me something?
Can I teach
Yeah,
you
I want to
something?
see what does this mean, like when I see them hold here, do. So you would be the person to ask.
The rule of thumb is what, if you're talking about the orchestra or the choir, what they see is what you hear. And so if you're really apathetic about your directing, and there's leaders in boardrooms that are really kind of flat, they're not passionate, they're apathetic, and they get the same thing back. So there's a parallel here. If you inspire the choir, you inspire the orchestra, they will play that way. So we command. So what you do with your hand is there's lots of little things that you do with your hand. And if you watch a conductor, there's many nuances that manifest themselves immediately in sounds. And so, for instance, before we start a piece of music, that's called the preparation. In the preparation, you tell them, this is how fast we're going. You can say, it's either soft or it's loud. And this is the exact point that you breathe and are ready to play. So when we come, the downbeat is here. And so the ictus, that's where we play. And the downbeat is here, but the preparation helps you get ready. Many leaders do not allow their teams time to prepare, so we start together. We shape the phrase by our passion, and we breathe, and we start another phrase, and then we end with a cadence. So it's the rhythm of life. It's how we start one project, end a project, how we begin a part of a meeting and end the meeting. There's lots of parallels in the music world and the business world.
Man, I couldn't have set that up more beautifully. I had no idea, so that worked out really well, didn't it?
You're really smart. You're really smart. So what I've done is distinguish myself from all those other people that teach leadership, and by saying, this is what a conductor can teach you about leadership. And we are results oriented. We're in charge, by the way, but we really need other people to play their instruments, or we don't have anything. So we make it happen. So leaders are people that make it happen, and they understand how it happens, and they influence others. And many leaders, just with emotion, can have impact on a group, but we're not aware of the power we have, the influence we have. So we get to choose.
I love that, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, and I appreciate that very much. That was a lot of fun.